Starting with that top story of the day, we'll take you through some of the details of that major operation is underway in the Poonch sector. Around 3:45 late afternoon yesterday is when the attack took place. This is at Dera Ki Gully area where an army gypsy and a one-ton vehicle was basically going in for the operation, in fact, as part of the reinforcement. Thereafter, remember, they were surrounded by these terrorists who had crossed over. What we are given to understand is the tactical changes that have been adopted by Pakistan. Yet again, Pakistan's role has emerged. Foreign terrorists who are now trapped. Roughly about 8 to 10 foreign terrorists who have been trapped. We'll get you full details of what are the changes that have been adopted by the Pakistani army, the ISI, in terms of the training of these foreign terrorists. We've accessed some details of the terror plot. We'll take you through some of the details. Let's just quickly put out some of the details with regards to who these terrorists are, how exactly their training has essentially taken place, and how it is different than what it used to be in the past when there were active terrorist launch pads. But remember, after the surgical strikes that have taken place back in the year 2016, there has been a tactical shift. The tactical shift is this, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to put out those details right now. How houses in Pakistan, in occupied Kashmir, are largely being used for this. Let's take you through the first details with regards to the tactical launch pads that have been established by Pakistani terror groups. It turns out that Pakistan has now moved its terrorists to houses of locals in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Every house of civilian is now turning out to be a launch pad on the directions of Pakistan ISI. In fact, the terrorists who have been involved in the attack in DKG are believed to be active in the area and have still not escaped. In fact, that's not all. We're getting in more details with regards to how exactly was the planning essentially done. Let me also introduce my colleagues Gursimran, and we'll also bring in Arawat in a short while from now. Our reporters on the ground getting us the latest details. Gursimran, first, let's begin with that first big breaking news coming in with respect to the change, the tactical change that has essentially taken place. Earlier, the launch pads were brimming with these terrorists. It seems in order to avoid the radar of the Indian agencies and the Indian security forces, they have not only removed those launch pads, it also turns out that some part of the training is actually happening not inside Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir, but rather inside Pakistan. While we do not have the details of where exactly these trainings have actually taken place, but it turns out that there is a vast difference in the way the training has taken place in the past and what's happening right now.
Sishavan, when it comes to the terror launch pads, there has been a tactical shift in the policy of Pakistan, that what the Pakistan is now doing, owing to the international pressure, and also we have seen the attempts of the Pakistan, that now what Pakistan is doing, that they have shifted the terrorists from the terror launch pads to the houses of the civilians in the Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. What is the benefit of this for Pakistan? First is to evade the international pressure. Second is the 2016 surgical strikes that were carried out by the Indian side on the terror launch pads of the Pakistan. So now Pakistan don't want to give the international community a message that it has and it anymore has some of the launch pads very close to the line of control. So now they are shifting the terrorists that are trained inside in the hinterland or in the terror training camps that are not very close to the launch pads to the house of the civilians of the Pakistan occupied Jammu and Kashmir. This all is being done on the directions of the Pakistan intelligence agency ISI, and what is the benefit of this for the Pakistan is that the houses of the civilian in the POJK or on the other side, be it the Indian people, those who live ahead of the fence, they are very close to the other's fence, and that is what the Pakistan is using as an opportunity. They are telling the international community that, see, our civilians are living very close to the border ahead of the fence. But in reality, it is the attempt of the Pakistan to push terrorists and to provide them an easy way to remain close to the line of control, and whenever they get an opportunity, they make an attempt attempt to sneak into the Indian territory. 13 such attempts, Shawan, have been foiled by the Indian Army this year, that is in the Poonch line of control. All the attempts were made in Poonch only, but they all have been foiled. 14 attempts succeeded, they were foiled in the hinterland. So 14 terrorists killed in the hinterland, those who sneaked in from the Pakistan, 13 killed on the line of control while trying to sneak in from these tactical terror launch pads that the Pakistan has created inside the houses of the civilians in the Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir on the directions of the ISI. And the second thing that, Shawan, you have mentioned is the training of the terrorists in the hinterland. Since the terrorists are now operating in the hinterland, earlier what used to happen that the terrorists used to sneak in from the line of control. Their primary focus remains to be to attack some of the installation of the Indian Army, to carry out bat attack, or in case they enter into the territory, they usually used to carry out the Fidain attacks. But now Pakistan wants their terrorists to operate in the hinterland, in Jammu and Kashmir, in Rajouri, Poonch area, to be very specific. And for the same, the terrorists are trained in the hinterland. They are trained in the areas where there is a dense foliage, in the where there is a natural caves, and also area where there is population. Because if you remember the 2022 August Pargal attack, the terrorists were roaming in the area that is a city area of Pargal for almost a couple of weeks. They were traced by the security agency many a times, but were killed only after they carried out attack on the Indian Army's operational base in Pargal, in which we lost 5 of our brave hearts. So this has become a modus operandi, that how they can mingle with the civilian population, how they can take the help of the overground workers to remain in the hinterland, to remain in the populated area as well, and when needed they can carry out attacks, Shawan.